NFL draft season for 2025 is officially here with the start of Senior Bowl practices today. And on today's show, I'm going to be breaking down my list of 10 winners and 5 losers from day one of Senior Bowl practice there in Mobile, Alabama. Before we get into it today, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already for daily NFL draft videos from us here at NFL Draft by Chat Sports. Me and Tom Downey, we're going to be doing a bunch of great content for you guys just about every single day for free. Mock draft reactions, our own mock drafts. We got a bunch of great stuff coming up as well with in-depth prospect analysis. We've got a Cam Ward versus Shadur Sanders video coming up later in the week. Also, positional rankings. Once me and Tom go through the film and the scouting reports and everything, we're going to put out our positional rankings at all the top positions this year. Also, weekly mock drafts here on the channel for you guys to enjoy. And also so much more. We got combine stuff. We got a whole bunch of content coming your way, guys. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And let's get into it right now. First up, let's start with my winners. And my winners list is longer than my losers list today. Got 12 winners, and then we'll finish up with my 5 losers. And we're going to start with the person that I think went from somebody that had some question marks coming into the week, but now I think he's starting to solidify himself as potentially a first-round draft pick, and that is none other than Zabel, the offensive lineman out of NDSU. If you know anything about these Bison offensive linemen, man, they are an O-line factory there in Fargo, and Zabel, I think, is the next in that line. He's 22 years old. He's got some good size to his frame. He had dominant film at NDSU, but a lot of people were going to keep their eye on him this week in particular because they wanted to see how he did against the top competition in terms of the FBS guys, and he did not disappoint. He dominated every rep that he took, not only at tackle, but also at guard and at center. So he's got that versatility you look for, and he absolutely dominated, put people on their butts all day long. Phenomenal performance from Zabel today, and if he continues this stretch that he's going on right now and continues this great streak he's been having at Senior Bowl practice today, I think that he's going to be a first-round pick come that big day in Green Bay. Second player on my list today, Anthony Belton, offensive tackle from North Carolina State. And Belton is somebody that, let's just say he needs to be rising here if he wants to make some more money. He's currently ranked 195th on the Pro Football Focus Big Board, but I thought that he had arguably the best day out of any tackle at the Senior Bowl today. I thought he did a really, really good job increasing his stock. He had good footwork, good hand placement. He didn't lose too many of his reps in the one-on-ones today. So I think if anybody in the offensive tackle class today raised their stock, I got to go with Anthony Belton out of the Wolfpack. Number 3 winner on the day, Billy Bowman Jr., a safety out of Oklahoma. He was able to get an interception on Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe during the one-on-ones today, undercutting an outbreaking route. And Bowman right now is currently ranked 106th on the Pro Football Focus Big Board, currently ranked as the 9th safety. So I think this is somebody who, if he continues to put some good tape out there from these Senior Bowl practices and then follows it up with a good Senior Bowl game, I think that he's somebody that could potentially be a riser in the draft process here because of this good week in Mobile. Then we get to somebody that was definitely a rising star today, somebody at the tight end position that was absolutely cooking guys in the one-on-ones, and that's Elijah Arroyo out of Miami. And right now, Arroyo is ranked as the 5th tight end on the Pro Football Focus Big Board at 80th overall, but he made his case today to be behind Colston Loveland and, of course, Tyler Warren out of Penn State to be the number 3 tight end in this class. There's certainly some other players that are in consideration for that number 3 tight end spot, but Arroyo, in my opinion, was the most impressive route runner out there. He had really, really impressive hands as well, catching multiple balls outside of his frame. So that was something that I think really impressed scouts in Mobile this afternoon, and I'm looking forward to see how he does the rest of the week. So who's your guy? Let me know down there in the comments section. Who's your favorite sleeper in the NFL draft this year? Who's somebody that you think is going to go like on maybe late day 2 or on day 3 that you think is going to be a really, really good player in the National Football League? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and when that happens, take advantage of that time by letting me know who your sleeper pick is in this year's draft class. Now let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the best place for you to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. All you have to do is select the Game Time Picks button at the top of the screen, and Game Time's automatically going to filter through their entire database to find you the best tickets with the best seats, the best views, at the best prices, so you and your family can get the best deals possible on any ticket you get to any live event. What I love about using the Game Time app is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event. All-in pricing so you don't get slapped with a crazy fee at checkout, and flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to game time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, and create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off that first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. For me, I think the person that increased their stock the most at practice today was Quincy Riley out of Louisville, talking about the corners here. We got a couple corners on my winners list today, but I was really, really impressed with Riley, who was staying in people's hip pockets in the one-on-ones. And, you know, the one-on-one drills really do benefit the tight ends and the wide receivers. Everybody knows that. But, you know, if you can have somebody at the quarterback position actually show out during a practice, that is something to definitely keep your eye on. That's what Riley did this afternoon. He's currently ranked as the 171st overall prospect on the PFF Big Board, the 18th ranked corner. So this is certainly somebody I'm going to be keeping my eye on here as the week continues. Another player that had a really good day and somebody that's a bit higher ranked than Quincy Riley is Maxwell Hairston out of Kentucky. He's kind of he's got to fill out a little bit, and he doesn't have the biggest frame in the world, but I think Hairston's going to be ready to be a starting NFL corner, probably as starting number 2 corner on the outside from the word go. I think he's got really, really good arm length for his size. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he does have those super, super long go-go gadget arms that I really, really like, and I think he's going to be a day 1 starter, probably goes at the early portion of round 2, in my opinion. Then we get to, I hope I'm saying this name right here, Azareye'h Thomas. Hope I'm saying that right, Seminole fans. But this Florida State guy, man, you want to talk about long arms? This guy's got the long arms as well. He's super, super physical. He was staying in the hip pockets of the wide receivers in the one-on-ones throughout practice today. And I do think that this is somebody that's probably going to go on day 2 as well. NFL teams really do covet these physical, long corners that can survive in press coverage on the outside, jam receivers at the line of scrimmage. I certainly think Thomas is one of the guys in this class that is capable of doing that. In terms of the running backs, today was kind of a lighter running back workload kind of day, but I thought Trevor Etienne out of Georgia was the one that stood out the most. He made some pretty darn big plays and some explosive cuts in practice today. He's currently ranked 133rd on the Pro Football Focus Big Board, currently ranked 14th out of the running backs in this class. I think that, this is a tremendous running back class, obviously. I mean, anybody that talks about this class knows just how deep this running back class goes this year. But I think Etienne's one of these guys that I think could certainly be a riser throughout this process. And I think today he helped his stock the most. Then we get to Xavier Restrepo out of Miami, talking about wide receivers here. And I think Restrepo is going to be more of a slot specialist in the National Football League, but he's one of the cleanest route runners that we have in the class this year, and he showed that off in the one-on-ones. I mean, just consistently creating separation. I mean, this guy is being projected as a late first-round pick, early day 2 pick for a reason. And, I don't think he's the most complete receiver in this class. I do think for what he does extremely well. And some NFL team is going to find that extremely valuable as a plug-and-play slot wide receiver in 2025. Then another guy that, maybe isn't a perfect receiver, Tez Johnson out of Oregon. He's kind of a lighter guy, less than 160 pounds, so he definitely needs to fill out the frame a little bit, but he can fly. And he's more than just a north-to-south runner, guys. He's somebody that explodes out of his cuts in the route running department. He was running away from people in the one-on-ones today. Now, obviously, he's going to have to prove that he can translate that route running ability and, the ability to make tough contested catches over the middle of the field as the week goes on, as we get to team periods, all these different things. But I thought today he certainly showed out as one of the speediest receivers in the class. Then we get to some defensive tackles that I thought were really impressive. Walter Nolen out of Ole Miss. This is somebody that's probably going to be a first-round pick. He's getting some hype around him in terms of a day 1 kind of guy. He's got such powerful hands. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but man, he can really affect people with his overall functional strength. And I think that a team that is looking for a disruptive interior pass rusher is going to be looking at a guy like Nolen, kind of on the tail end of the first round, as somebody that could potentially be a really disruptive piece in the interior of that team's pass rush. There are just reps on his film, guys, where he just absolutely takes over and he is dominant, all right? So he's got a little bit of work to do, but I think he had a really good day today, and hopefully he can continue to do that throughout the week. My final winner of the day that I'm going to talk about today, Deon Walker, the big defensive tackle out of Kentucky. I mean, there was a rep that went viral on X today where he was going through a bag drill and just pushed over the coach that was holding the bag. He's got super long arms. He's obviously super physically imposing, over 340 pounds at 6'6". I mean, this guy is going to be an absolute physical freak. Now, his downside is that on film, his pad level isn't too good. At 6'6", it can be hard to, get those pads lowered. But I think that, that's something that can be coached in a guy like Deon Walker. And I think that, some of the best coaches in the league are going to look at a kid like this with the physical potential and say, I want this guy to be my future nose tackle. I have a feeling he's going to go in round 2 of the draft this year. So now let's move on to the losers here. And, I just want to say right now, it's just one day of practice, guys, all right? This is just my thoughts on some of the guys that I thought, that were pretty highly touted coming into the week that I thought underwhelmed in the drills today. And just because someone is on this list today doesn't mean that they suck as a player or that they're going to be a bust or anything like that, or that they can't bounce back later in the week. Just that today, I'm not sure if they help their stock or their chances of getting raising their draft stock much. So we take a look here at a couple quarterbacks. Jalen Milroe, I thought, didn't necessarily help stoke the fires of the hype that some people put around Jalen. And obviously, he's got a really great physical skill set. He's a dynamic rusher of the football. He brings good size to the table, some really crazy arm talent as well. And, out of the guys that are there, Dylan Gabriel, Jackson Dart, Riley Leonard, it's just very, very obvious that Jalen Milroe clearly has the best arm talent out of any quarterback that is in Mobile this year, but the accuracy was shoddy at best today. He threw an interception in the one-on-ones. We talked about that earlier, and I think that, it's just day one. All right, these guys don't have chemistry together in terms of the quarterback-wide receiver connection, and those connections will continue to build throughout the week. So it's certainly possible that Milroe puts together a better day tomorrow and the next day, and then has a really good final day in the game itself. But today, I didn't think that he wowed the way that he probably wanted to on day one of the Senior Bowl practice. Then we get to Riley Leonard, who I just don't think is an NFL quarterback, guys. I'm not even sure if I'm going to have a draftable grade on Leonard, if I'm completely honest with you. I think he's functional in a college offense. He's a good rusher of the football, good leader. He can run the RPO and slant and screen stuff that we see a lot in college, and we saw from the Notre Dame offense this year. But like throwing the ball down the field, full field progression reads, throwing the ball with accuracy down the field consistently, it's just not Riley Leonard's game, guys. That was apparent at practice today. Probably the most inaccurate quarterback among the quarterbacks today. Then we get to Landon Jackson, the defensive lineman out of Arkansas, and I was disappointed with some of the clips that we saw today from Landon Jackson because he's somebody that's pretty highly touted, and he's expected to be borderline first-round pick territory. He's currently ranked as the 9th edge by the Pro Football Focus Big Board. Lots of good edges in this year's draft class, by the way. So PFF probably projects him more as a second-round pick, but he was on the ground a lot today. They tried moving him inside a bit, and he got absolutely dominated. He's definitely more of an edge, in my opinion. And, even on the edge, he wasn't having a phenomenal day. So there's still plenty of time here during Senior Bowl week, but today wasn't Landon Jackson's best day, in my opinion. Then you got to Wyatt Millam, the offensive lineman out of West Virginia. He's coming out as a tackle, but kind of like the NDSU kid we talked about earlier, they tried moving Wyatt all around the line today, and it just didn't really work out for him. I thought he got beat, and he was on his butt a lot. He got really dominated on multiple one-on-one reps from bigger, more imposing players. And, the PFF has this guy pretty highly ranked as well, 37th on their big board. I thought for a guy as highly touted as he is coming out of the Mountaineers this season, I thought he underwhelmed. And hopefully he can turn it around in the days to come. Then another guy that I thought probably had the worst day out of the tackles, in my opinion, was Emory Jones out of LSU. Somebody that is a pretty darn good prospect, and physically he's got the tools, in my opinion. But today just wasn't his day. I thought that he was getting turned around quite a bit. He was on the ground a little bit today as well, and just a lot of inconsistency from Jones, in my opinion. Hopefully, again, he can turn it around and raise his draft stock a little bit by the end of the week. So let me know down there in the comment section, will you watch the Senior Bowl this weekend? Give me a yes or a no. I'm somebody that always looks forward to this event every single year, getting a quick look at these guys during practice, seeing how they match up against the rest of the guys. And I just love the competition aspect of the practices as well. So let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Are you going to watch the Senior Bowl, yes or no? And if you guys want a bunch of NFL draft content from me on Twitter during this entire draft season, you can find me at Jack_Sperry. Going to be putting out a bunch of highlights from the Senior Bowl throughout the week. Also, we're going to be putting out a bunch of film analysis all throughout the draft season as well. So you can follow me at Jack_Sperry. And don't forget, make sure you guys click that subscribe button to this channel as well, NFL Draft by Chat Sports, because we're going to be putting out new original content right here on this channel all throughout the 2025 draft season. So until next time, guys, I will see you guys next time. And until then, peace.